Fellas, I've been training for 14 years. I know exactly how it is when you first start working out. And a lot of you are going to be able to relate to this, whether you're just getting in the gym or you've already been training for a couple years. But when you first start out, you have your old identity, the version of yourself you currently are, and the version of yourself you're trying to become. But right now, your habits are not aligning, and your mind hasn't yet changed. So you have to literally change what you do on a daily basis and constantly fight. Your mind is telling you, don't go to the gym today, you're tired. Or have that cheat meal or cheat day. Or go out on the weekends and drink a bunch of booze. And guys, I did this for years. I'd work out 6-7 days a week when I was in my early teenage years, when I first started going to the gym. I trained as hard as I could for 6-7 days a week with no program, no direction. And then on the weekend, I'd go out, drink 20 beers, and completely ruin all the progress I made. And I got stuck doing this for years, and I held myself back drastically. But you want to get to the point where it no longer feels like a suffering contest. It no longer feels like you have to put yourself through something to achieve the end result. Because when you start doing that, as soon as you actually do get there, if you do, which you're probably not going to, because this is one of the worst ways to frame going to the gym, working out, you're no longer going to want to do it because you still view it as suffering. You still view it as work. You still view it as something you have to do rather than the version of yourself you want to become. You have to imagine that version of yourself very clearly. What he looks like, where you are in 1 year, 5 years. That version of yourself in the future, you need to become him right now. How does he act? How does he view going to the gym? Does he view it as some task that's difficult that he has to do? Or does he view it as, this is just what I do and it's one part of my personality? See, getting jacked is only cool or impressive. I shouldn't say cool. It's only impressive if it's effortless, if you don't mention it all the time. If you're jacked, you're lean year round, but you never really talk about working out, training in your day-to-day life. People ask you about it, you give them generic advice. Go ask any jack dude who has an aesthetic physique and takes care of himself, well-groomed, dresses nice. Go ask him how to get in shape. He's going to give you the most generic advice you've ever heard. He's going to go to the gym, train hard, and eat clean. Because that is the God-honest truth of all you need to do to get in shape. There is nothing less impressive than talking to someone or hearing someone who has a good physique, but they're talking about how difficult it is. I have to eat my macros at a certain time, and I have to do the most optimal exercises. If you band and cuff this, it's the most optimal for muscular hypertrophy. First of all, it's not that deep for the majority of the population. If you want to get jacked and just leverage your physique on a daily life, you don't need to care about any of that. And you're literally overemphasizing what it actually takes to get in shape, and you're making it more difficult than it is. You are pedestaling it like a woman. Like approaching a woman. Like if you go up to her, the world's going to explode and everything's going to end and your whole bloodline's going to end right there with you if she says no and rejects you. It is not that big of a deal. And I'm telling you guys, once you integrate it into your life, which I'm going to explain to you how to do in just a moment, and you just make it something you do, you don't even have to think about it. Your mind doesn't fight you anymore and you're not building your body out of willpower. That's when everything changes. That's when you walk with a different presence. You have a different aura about you. You have real certainty. Because if you are coming from a place, a mental framework of you have a lack of physique, you're still chasing it down, everyone's going to be able to sense it. And it's not going to make it look very impressive because you're making it seem like it's really difficult, when in reality, we all know it's not that bad. The initial stage, as I said at the beginning, where you are struggling, you have to battle those things, the cravings, being tired, being fatigued, a little bit of soreness. That is hard to get over because you haven't yet seen the results. But as soon as you get the results and you get the good physique and you start seeing the benefits in daily life, you need to immediately accept that that's what it took to get there and just keep doing that. And listen, if you guys want the 3 core habits to be able to build this and maintain the physique in the next 6 months, and literally simplified to the bare minimum of what you need to do that's going to maximize results, DM me and follow me on Instagram at Brasai. DM me the word elite and I will send that over to you and you guys will get full access to that blueprint. Now, listen. The thing is, getting jacked is a very simple process, but people overcomplicate it because of that beginning phase, and they feel like they need to do more. They need to make it more complicated than it is to make it seem like a bigger deal. The truth is, it's already rare. 1% of the population or less has a good physique, but all you really need to do is get over that first initial hump and start building momentum and start seeing a little bit of results and benefits, and then you're never going to want to go back. You're never going to go back to that old version of yourself, your old identity. This is what you're going to do. You're going to train 4 days a week. I just made a video on exactly the full routine that you need to be doing if you want to get jacked. You're going to train 4 days a week. You're going to go to the gym, and every single time you're going to go, you're going to train for 45 minutes to 1 hour, and you're going to train as hard as you can. Every set, every session. As hard as you can that day. Every day is not going to be perfect. You're not always going to be able to push 100%. Life happens, shit happens. You might be able to only train 70, 75% that day. Go in and train as hard as you can on the given day. If you miss a day, don't overdo it. Just get back on the routine. It's not a big deal in the bigger picture. First, track your macros. Learn how to track your macros. Look what 250 grams of sweet potato looks like. Look and find out what a 6-ounce steak looks like. Understand how much protein's in there, how much fats, how many carbs. Do this for 6 months. After 6 months, you will never have to do it again. It is literally that simple. You will literally just know. You will have a calculator in your brain for macros and calories. Integrate cardio into your daily life. I don't care if it's walking 10,000, 15,000 steps, doing 15 minutes of skipping, boxing, anything. But just make this your baseline. Because in reality, you're only going to be dedicating a couple hours a week. Your gym, 3-4 hours. Tracking food, 0 once you know how to track your macros. But in reality, 15 minutes a day to track your macros for 6 months, and cardio 15 to 20 minutes a day. And once you do that, maintain doing that and keep getting better at the basics. You do not need to make it any more difficult than it is. And once this mental shift happens and you realize this, because guys, I got to tell you this, it took me about a decade to figure this out. I kept thinking I needed to do more. I needed to do different exercises. I needed to do science-based lifting. I needed to push my calories even higher. Push it into the 4,000, 4,500s. I was missing out on some secret that someone hadn't told me yet. And this led me to trying every different type of training style, different diets, dedicating basically my whole life for a decade to going to the gym. And do you know what it resulted in? No more progress. And way less progress outside of the gym and outside of my physique. It is not worth it. All you need to do is stop negotiating with yourself. Make that mental switch of becoming the version of yourself you want to be. Do the basics, simplify things, get there as fast as possible, realize that you know exactly what to do, you know the formula, you know the system, and just keep doing it. And then let it run in the background. Work out, go to the gym, don't mention it, just let the results speak for themselves. Walk in a room, you have the presence, you got the aura, people know what's up, they respect you, you get opportunities, and you start progressing in other areas of your life. This is how you really leverage a physique. This is how you really make serious changes in your life. Building a physique is great, but it is not the end goal. It's literally the foundation, step one. I've told you guys this 100 million times. If you watch my videos, you know what I'm talking about. Make your body catch up to your mind, and now start progressing other areas of your life. This is where the benefits of having a physique really exist. And I wish I did this years earlier. I wish I did this a decade ago, because realistically, I had the good physique. When I was 19, I had a great physique, but I thought it was too complicated. I thought if I had to keep making progress, I needed to do more. I needed to do X, Y, and Z. And in reality, I didn't need to do that. I could have kept doing the exact same thing, and I'd be in a much better position than I am today. Although I am very grateful for where I'm at. But I'm just telling you guys, it is not that difficult. Get through the integration phase as fast as possible. Make fitness effortless. Put it in the background. Keep making progress, and focus on other areas of your life. When fitness stops being work and it starts becoming a part of your identity, not your entire personality, like the science-based guy I just talked about, who makes it seem way more difficult than it is. When it becomes a piece of who you are, your characteristics and the traits you have built through this journey show in your physique and your mind and the way you think and view the world and the leverage you get in daily life, and you stand out like a sore thumb because everyone's out of shape these days. This is when things really start to change. And if you guys want to go on this journey, you want to expedite the process, you want to be able to get there in 6 months, like my client Zay did, went from never training to literally having a V taper, being 10 to 12% body fat, and having ridiculous muscularity for a 21-year-old, and now is leveraging it in his career, in his business, looking to make money online at 21 years old. If you guys want to follow that same type of trajectory, completely switch the way you view the world and the way the world perceives you in 6 months, book a call with me down below. We'll talk about where you're currently at, where you're trying to get to, and DM me on Instagram. Shoot me any questions, and we'll chat about how we can help you get there.